443 Ball Talk. MUFC,
All right,
let's
good
kick it
evening.
off.
Once again, it's your boy Moosey back again in a 443 Ball Talk. I'm there again with my co-host Shana. We say Arteta out. Shana, welcome back. Week 4 EPL just concluded, and let's get right into it.
443 Ball Talk. MUFC, let's kick it off.
But me notice say Arteta out, but I mention the rest of my name. My name change, tell the people.
Okay, all right. This week, he basically trying to be slick. So since she be slick, we're gonna be slick with it. So her username today is Arsenal 3, Man United 1. But we're not even gonna waste any time. We're gonna get straight into it because since that was the big game of the weekend, all rivals locked horns again at the Emirates Stadium. And Shana, since you were victorious, I'm gonna let you go ahead and have your say. Go ahead. What's up? What did you think about the game?
Well, I think it was a mid-off for starters. It was not two good teams. That was not two good performances. Because even though we got the victory, Moosey, my team did not look good. Like, there were moments where, the pressure on, we're having a pin down in a half. But, like, the finishing, it was just setting up to be one of those frustrating games where you dominate and then you get nothing out of it, or you get a hot 1-0. And towards the end, it was transitioning to that. Like, I remember when I'm there watching it, I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be another boring draw. Because if you remember, that's what I predicted last week. I predicted a draw. And I'm like, this looks like it's going to be one of those games where we just can't break through no matter how many chances we get. And almost at the end, when I saw Garnacho got subbed on, I'm like, shit. We know that Garnacho is like one of those super sub kind of players who make an impact in the last like 5 to 10 minutes of a game. And I saw him and I'm like, oh my God. And also new guy, Rasmus came on. I'm like, I'm probably going to come impressed, And you see, once that goal hit in, and I'm going to say, if you did ever want to see what me have in my drafts, for Arteta and them boys there, trust me, it was not going to be pretty. But then the unbelievable happened. Up to now, I am shocked. I mean,
You're
it
shocked.
was not, I'm shocked that we actually won the game. I mean, last season, I saw a different side of Arsenal where we were grinding out wins, coming back at the end, grinding out wins. But, after what happened, the late season collapse, I didn't really care about all that. So I'm like, oh, it's going to probably just be one of those drawn out, boring draws. And I'm not gonna lie, that last 15 minutes was spectacular. I mean, I'm still Arteta out. I'm not going to pretend like we win the league because of this game. But everybody, no matter how bad they are playing at the league, everybody likes to beat their rivals. Everybody. Cause when we down, when Man U down, and you kick off Liverpool face or you kick off Chelsea face, you feel good.
Absolutely.
So when people say, "Oh, I'm celebrating wins," yeah, I'm gonna celebrate the win. That no means my thoughts change. We need to win something this season, something major. But yeah, it was fun kicking in the teeth in the 90+ minutes. Yeah, it was fun. Even though, as I said, it wasn't really a good performance. We could have been so much better. But I'll take the 3 points.
Wow, I find it very interesting that you have the nerve to be using my words. Kicked out my teeth. All right, so let I gave you the opportunity to speak, and I'm gonna speak. And if you want, add your 2 cents after I speak, you can feel free to do so. All right. Let me just say, I'm not gonna be a sore loser. So congrats to the Gunners. Despite their fan base doing the most, like they did something spectacular. But I guess when you beat your rivals, it's something to be happy about, and you get to talk all the smack and banter all you feel, all you like, right? But this is my assessment of the game. It was almost, like I said, fine margins. Ten Hag masterclass, because guess what? Where Arsenal set up the play, they were not allowed to play their regular game because of how we set up. We had a lot of possession in spurts. A lot of times we had the ball first half, second half. I felt as though we played a better second half than we did in the first half. We didn't allow the usual Arsenal wingers to have their free a lot of space and to do their thing. Saka was basically non-existent for majority of the game. Pretty much majority of the game. He had a chance in the second half, but apart from that, I felt as though Diego Dalot played him well, and Martinelli, who was probably, in my opinion, Arsenal best player, even though he played well, he really didn't get much of a sniff. He created some opportunities for Arsenal, but for the most part, he was kept at bay by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. In defense, I felt like my backline did good. You know, initially, and I said it before when we signed Onana, I'm not his biggest fan, but yesterday showed me how much of a difference he makes. Follow me. When he's in possession, usually Arsenal are a very high pressing team. Arsenal front three played it smooth in a sense where they did not try to press him too high, because I kid you not, Onana is probably Man United's best passer, because if you press him too high, at one point in time he stood basically on the top of the key, the circle at the 18-yard box. He just stood there and controlled pass and had a whole lot of composure, like no care in the world. My only issue with Man United yesterday, and when my coach makes an error, I'm a call him out. But I felt as though the setup was right. It's just one of them things where we had injuries in the latter stages of the game, and it kind of gave Arsenal that push when Arsenal brought on fresh legs. But for the most part, I was happy with the performance, because guess what? We're playing away from home. Arsenal usually at the Emirates Stadium, they usually have one of the best crowds, and once the crowd get behind their team, it usually help lift them across the finish line. I felt as though my team did well. We did enough to get a point. Like you said, Garnacho came on. He's known as a super sub. He did. He came on. It was fine lines in terms of the VAR to intervene once he scored. And I'm gonna tell you this, Shauna. Once he raged through, I knew that boy can't finish. So once he raged through, I figured, yeah, this is it. But a part of me was like, do not celebrate until everything is cleared up, and then the referee pointed to the center circle. And you know, once it was called offside, I said, all right, we're not going to get all 3 points. I'm okay with taking a point on the road, going into the international break. And despite no, I'm not going to make any excuses. I didn't play with my regular centre back pairing. Varane was out, and then later in the game, Martinez came off injured. And I'm going to say this. We ended the game with Maguire and Johnny Evans as our centre-back pairing. Johnny Evans and Maguire probably should not be playing for any Premier League team. Not no top team. You see what I say? And then when I speak on things about the Glazers not fully backing the manager, there's no way we should be playing a game of that magnitude against Arsenal FC. And in the latter stages of the game where we're trying to close out the game to try to nick all 3 points or possibly hold on for a draw, we have to call upon Maguire and Johnny Evans. Well, I'm not going to point fingers at anybody or blame them on the loss. There's a lot of positives despite losing. Like, I'm glad you mentioned it about our new striker. A lot of people were wondering where he was. We signed him. We signed him. He had a back injury. And let me just say this. You know, I don't do the fanboy and all that stuff, but I was impressed with what I saw from Højlund. Rasmus Højlund is going to be a problem in this league, because for the few minutes that he came on for, he did far more than Antony Marshall. And we play good in spurts. Like I said, it's a lot of positive to take from the game. I definitely respect Onana game a lot more. And when you're missing your regular centre back pair of Varane and Martinez, you see how much they mean to you. And shout out to Dalot because he held his own. Wan-Bissaka played a decent half. It's not easy for somebody to stick Martinelli for your entire game. And I must say this, the referee made some very questionable decisions, but won't be the one to cry about referees. It's part of the game. They're humans. The errors happen. Even with VAR, errors happen. But shout out to Arsenal. You kick out my teeth, I guess. But it was not even I must say, it was not even a kick-outy performance. Like I said, it was a dud. The game was basically, it's like a chess game. Two teams, we get possession, only take possession, but it wouldn't, in Spurs, Arsenal were waving their top, waving, pin me down. But guess what? Despite being pinned down, how many shots did they have on target? Not that many, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saka got a shot later on in the second half. We created chances also. So it was a little boxing match. You punch me up, I punch back. You punch me up, I punch back. But in all, it shows that in the Premier League, in order for you to properly compete, you have to have a full squad of players to play at the highest level. Because guess what? Once certain players go down, it seems like everything falls apart. But now I'm an excuse, because we don't do excuses around here in a 4-4-3 ball talk now. And shout out to Arsenal, who can banter all the while. Like I said, we will catch in the back at Old Trafford. But from what I saw yesterday of Arsenal, I stand on what I said. Arsenal does not look like a team that's going to win the championship. I was not impressed because to say Arsenal had more of their starters on the field, they should have walked the park with Man United yesterday. It should have been a walkover. And that's what I said. Shout out to my coach. Despite us not being full strength, he got the players on board and everybody played decent football where we deserve something. It stinks because we know it wasn't a game where we got outplayed, like we got balled off the park. We deserve something from the game, but guess what? You win some, you lose some. But I always tell people, we don't take losses, It's either we win or we learn. And I learned a lot about my team yesterday. It shows that players on my team and the belief that Ten Hag is instilling in this current team is wonderful. And I'm looking forward to us competing for the rest of this season. And I'm going to say this, usually I'm not a fan of the international break, but despite all that's going on with my club, I've never been happier to see an international break. All right, Shauna, go ahead.
Hola. Maybe stick a whole heap up in there. Because you say Arsenal no look like championship team, right? I'm not saying I disagree, but let's just let's just go back to the first episode. And I just want to remind me who Moosey said winning the league this season.
All right. I'm going to ask that question. We're 4 games in. I have 2 wins and 2 losses. Call me delusional. Call me what you like. Man City at gallop ahead. They're 4 from 4. I still believe Man United will still become victorious until it's mathematically
all right.
not possible. I'm going to stand on my views. It's a lot.
Right.
This is let me tell you, the race is not for the swift, it's for those who can endure. It's a long distance race. It's 100-meter sprint. It's a long season, a lot of twists and turns. And I'm a firm believer we gonna get it right. And usually we go on a run. And when we go on a run, we go on them big runs. And if we can maintain some form of consistency, and it's not a lot of points to catch up. City does the 6 points ahead. And even though them are win, them not impressed with this season either. But guess what? Like McGrady asked the question, and I stand firm 10 toes deep on it. Man United will still become victorious until
it is mathematically impossible.
It says otherwise.
Well,
so yes, I stand firm.
I will be there. But there's one thing I kinda disagree with you on. I mean, I do agree with Diego Dalot. I think he did a really good job on Saka, but I thought Martinelli was giving problems to Wan-Bissaka. I'm not saying he shredded him, but trust me, Martinelli was the problem attacker. over there, Everything
All
was
right,
being
Shauna.
played through him.
All right, everything was being played through him, right? Well, how many chances did he create? Because
Well,
guess what?
I'd have to
You know what
check.
I like? Hold up. You know what I like about Wan-Bissaka? Even when you think you beat him, guess what? He's always there, no matter what. And let me tell you this. Any other right? Let me tell you. I'm gonna go and say this. Say I'm a Brazilian fan. But rate Martinelli. You see any right but Martinelli kid for the rest of this season? Them better make sure them drugged up because guess what? That boy is fit and full of skill. You have to be on your game. And if your center
Mm-hmm.
back now cover you, or your winger now trap back, or your
Mm-hmm.
DM now cover you, you gonna be on an island by yourself. And like I said, Arsenal played everything to him. And the crazy thing about it, Antony didn't even really trap back. Wan-Bissaka is very good 1v1. And for Arsenal not to, the reason why I say this is because guess what? If you think about it, most of the attacks came down that side. Arsenal paraded down that left wing for majority of the game, and not much came from it. Yes, he
No,
looked good, but not much came from it.
yeah, but Anthony did trap back a couple times. You probably just don't remember. Yeah,
Yeah,
he did. He did.
but
Yeah,
if
he
but
did.
it wasn't. Didn't do it.
Yeah,
It didn't have no effect on Martinelli twisting and turning.
trust
Did
me,
he make a tackle?
Martinelli.
Yes, zero tackles. But
Trust
like I
me,
said,
Martinelli was
take
a
on the win
problem.
and go on. Take on the win and go on. I am not impressed by you, Gunners. Take on the win and go on. Let me
No,
tell you this,
hey,
that scoreline really flatters you guys. It was not a 3-1 type of game.
but
Absolutely not.
let's stick our lip up in because I remember last year, right, when Arsenal started the season flying. I remember saying a Man U did end with like a winning streak to start the season. And
Old
I
Trafford,
remember
yes.
Moosey terrorized me for about 3 months with a 3-1 score. So here was revenge. And you say, well, I can't wait for you. You say you can't wait for all the way back at Old Trafford. All right, see you in
Absolutely.
May.
Let me tell
See
you
you
this,
in
right?
May.
It's like I'm taking a vacation. Like it's because Arsenal it burned me. And the thing is, you say I'm fair. If I got outplayed, I'm gonna say yes. The better team won on the day. There was no better team on the day because the both teams were back and forth, and it was like one of them games. Like you said, you had it. You had stuff that you wanted to get off your chest because in your mind
Just
you felt you were honest. And let me say this: Arsenal, you weren't the only one. I was on Twitter while the game was going on. A lot of people, I was on Twitter and I was on IG. A lot of Arsenal fans were already throwing in the towel. They were willingly accepting the draw. Hold up. And then if you go on most of those media pages, you saw Arsenal fans left the game before 90 minutes. They gave up on their team. So any Arsenal fan that come try show up and threaten on my face, make a laugh off on it. Because guess what? Oh, ye of no faith. You guys did not believe in your team. When you give up, when you have the open episodes them on the drafts, ready for slaughter Arteta, ready for slaughter all
of
of them.
course,
And guess what?
of course, him forget Slaughter.
When
Him still, Moosey,
say this.
him still, I get the form, him still, I get the lineup wrong. I mean, I personally, I want Kai Havertz to do well, but obviously, he's just not gonna. He just does not fit right now.
Shauna, I'm going to say this. That is the reason why I said I was not impressed by you guys. Because technically, we should have won. You know why? Because Kai Havertz, they are playing for Man United. Kai Havertz was playing for Man United on Sunday. That guy was playing for us. I love when Kai Havertz not Arsenal level because we can
Yeah,
expect some form of mediocrity.
so him did a sloppy pass where make Rashford score, right? Just like lazy sloppy
Absolutely.
pass. Yeah. So he was playing against us. I mean, Kai, I want you to do well, but you need to pull up your socks, man. It's not looking good.
All right. The feature game, like I said, it was lackluster. It was not spectacular. But at the end of the day,
It was
the
entertaining.
goal you told to do, you got the 3 points and you got the job
Yeah.
done. All right, let's fast forward. Once again, my rivals, my other rivals, Liverpool are stream rolling. They rolling this season. They look good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can't take none from them. They lost a lot of players. They needed to revamp their midfield, and Liverpool continue to roll and doing well. They defeated Aston Villa 3-0, and Aston Villa is like what I say, a dark horse team that I expect to really do good. But it seems like they have the same issues like Man United. They don't travel well. They just don't play well on the road, and you just can't afford to lose like that. And they lost in a manner where it's like they never put up a fight. You know, one of them way the way you can tell them or them approach the game like them lose before they even go up on the field. So shout out to Liverpool. Yeah, I said
Not to Liverpool.
shout out
But
to
hey,
Liverpool.
that midfield, that's why I kind of had Liverpool, finishing in the top two, because they made, even though it's not like some like world-class midfield signings, but I
No,
think
nah.
it's good
Hey,
enough to
Connor,
get the job done.
pronounce him last name. We don't call him Dominic. Dominic?
Dominic, that's what I call him. Yeah, man,
Baller.
he's you see him
Big
now,
baller.
Arsenal.
That's a gem.
Hey, Arsenal would have done so well signing him instead of Kai Havertz. Trust me, because he gets forward. He trust
Listen,
me.
Man United could have done so well signing him over Mason Mount.
Oh my,
You see,
hey, we're
in
me and
a
you got the
wheelchair.
same boat. We got two mediocre Chelsea players, and they're laughing at us right now for spending that
Right.
much money on them. If we spent like all of 15, 20 million, it's rare, but
All right. But no, we were discussing this on Twitter, and it was a major debate about that controversial second goal that Man City scored against Fulham on Saturday. And guess what? You had your views, I had my views. And guess what the Premier League came back and said? They had to apologize. They said it should have been called offside. So Fulham was wrong. Man City ended up winning 5-1, but that game is a momentum changer. When the Ake header went, Akanji was in the line of the goalkeeper, and the header went in. Me and Shauna had a back and forth. Shauna said,
I still disagree, because I watched the videos. No, sir, I still disagree. I still disagree.
I was watching the game live, so I saw it many different angles. VAR reviewed it, and on the field, VAR said goal. After the fact, Premier League officials come back and say, they might apologize to Fulham because the goal should have never stood. You know, for somebody that plays sports, normally it's when you play sports and you give out your all, one decision against you can throw your whole game off. And what they get, Fulham actually, Man City scored first, and Fulham scored right back. Man City were actually going in the game. It's after that goal score and City go up 2-1, it basically killed Fulham vibes. And I understand why Coach Silva was livid. He was livid, and I can understand his frustration because too many calls this season, the referees and VAR seem to can't get it right. And it's unfortunate when teams put out them all to get robbed. I'm not going to use the word robbed because I know it's the humans and they make mistakes, but it seems as though some of these decisions are biased because it seems like certain teams are always getting these decisions, and the smaller teams, it's like the smaller teams that might get a fight. But shout out to Fulham. Them put up a nice good fight. But after that goal, they end up get dismantled. Them will get a 5-piece. Oh my God. Anyway, when they say it already, I'll never say it again. I repeat, say, when your team down, when you're down and out, you try to drag down some team with you, right? So despite my team only having 6 points from 4 games, there's some other teams that people expected a lot this season. And guess what? They are not living up to expectations. We're going to start off with the team from the Tyneside side, Newcastle. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. What they did last season, kudos to them. But if you say a big club, me have to see you do it what? Consistently. You can't do a look at one season, one down, I'm a game. I'm not throw my ratings not work that way. I'm not just give my ratings like that. So, Newcastle have 3 points from 4 games. Shana, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Me hear rumors I said the coach might under pressure. He should be under pressure. Because guess what? When owners back here, and invest properly in the squad, you get everybody you want. There's nobody who is short of. It's not like a Man United or Arsenal where some of the transfers are questionable. You reinforced and you added to what you already had, right? So therefore,
Mm-hmm.
what? The expectations is much higher now.
Agree.
Follow me. And guess what? It don't look good so far.
It
They
don't
look
look
like
good.
they look like a team. Like they don't doing it. It's like they're ready to throw the coach on the bus. But guess what? When they are over 4-4-3 ball talk, but they have to see it transpires for the rest of the season. But currently, he doesn't look like he's going to make it to December.
Yeah.
Unless
It could
those
just
owners,
be. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
unless those owners have extra patience, because remember, they are playing in what? Champions League. And playing in Champions League is a lot.
Yeah.
Playing, because remember, Newcastle, you used to play one game a week, So they're going to go from playing in just the regular local cups and the Premier League to adding a Premier Champions League that is more toxic on the body, where they might play against the better teams in Europe. So, and they were drawn in what? The group of death.
That.
They're in
Yeah.
a group. So good luck. What you have to say about that?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a long season. We're what, just 4 games in. It could just be early season blues, because I remember you guys started out slow and then you just started to tick. So it could just be early season blues for Newcastle. But I am seeing some talk about the coach. Last season they went on their dream run, their fairy tale run, and all of a sudden Eddie Howe, a big top coach. I'm like, really? Eddie Howe?
Sure.
Like, yeah, sure, okay. But as you say, with the pressure of the Champions League and the other competitions is going to be added to the mix. Let's see how they survive, but it's not looking good because everybody had Newcastle as this like a top team. Now I'm like, nah,
Nah.
not yet. And they have money. We know they have money. But let's see how the season play out. But it's not looking good.
It's not looking good. Speaking of which, your local rivals, Tottenham Hotspurs, they are firing. What is going on? What is going on over in North London with your rivals? What's going on with the Spurs? Them slap up 5 piece.
Yeah, I just think it's just a new manager bounce. That's how I feel, because I remember a couple years ago, right? I mentioned this to you on Twitter with Everton.
Yes.
And stuff, and I'm like, this could be a same thing. The first 2-3 months they're firing, and then they just hit a brick wall. I mean, I don't have high expectations for Tottenham, even though they're off to a hot start. They are impressive so far.
Right.
They and Newcastle kind of switch places so far, because I don't expect Newcastle to be firing, but I don't expect them to have lost 3 out of 4.
Exactly.
So, but let's see how Tottenham, 'cause, they're already out of one cup. To who did they lose to?
Fulham, the Carabao Cup.
Fulham, yeah, they're already out. And this is a team that's been on a trophy drought since Whoopi killed Phillip. Yeah,
but Shauna, with that said, right, that could actually help them along the season, because that's one less thing they have to focus on, and FA Cup won't be played for a while. So having not having the distraction of the Carabao Cup, so they could just focus mainly on the league until FA Cup comes around. So that could actually assist them in with the games coming up. So who knows? All right. Yes, Tottenham all that them beat me, but it wasn't a game where it's funny enough. It wasn't a game. It wasn't a game where we should have lost. We could have possibly gotten a point from that game also. But hey, something like I said, new coach bounce, and them I ride them. Look, let's see how long it lasts. Speaking of which, another London team. Another London team. This is a London team, yeah. Them spend the most money.
Yeah,
I look like
man.
a analyst. Yes, Chelsea fans are only me at talk.
1 billion? 1 billion, right?
1 billion them spending at 3 transfer windows and look like a corner league team. And when you talk to Chelsea fan, them are going to tell you, say, oh, because we don't have a striker. So when you spend 1 billion,
1 billion.
didn't think that you needed a striker?
That's their excuse, Moosey, that they're going to use. You know, they don't have a
Yeah,
gunman
but
because
guess what? We know better than buying that excuse. We know better because guess what? Even Caicedo, brother, the money where you sign for get pressure get to you, but he looked lost. He looked lost on Saturday. Like him look proper lost. The only place will look good for Chelsea right now are Enzo. Enzo dropped some ball in the midfield. He's playing like somebody living up to his price tag. And Sterling look good. Sterling really I carry the forward in attack, but that guy Jackson, let me tell you about him already, you know. Fast and foolish. Don't get me wrong. It might come good eventually, but currently right now, it's a new league, and it like him going to take a while for adjust. But Chelsea, the money we want to spend, shout out to Nottingham Forest, by the way, because it's a former Man United baller, bust them head. Shout out to Ilanga for finding that winner because
I hear a big baller that, you know. Moosey, me know say he was a big fan of Ilanga, you know. No, you miss him right now, you know.
Absolutely not. No, if we have to reach some of them ball at that time standard, them can't handle big club pressure. Go play for some Nottingham Forest, go play for some Burnley, Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool. Nah. And every team can wear them the jersey. And every team can wear them.
I agree.
So we touch upon everybody. Bournemouth, Sheffield. Once I mean Everton, Sheffield. Everton look like a team going down.
Yeah.
Everton look hopeless. And team like them them look hopeless.
Hey, and
you know
person. Go on, man. Go on.
Bournemouth and Brentford had a good back and forth. That was a very nice 2-2 draw. But for the most part, you have to look into Crystal Palace. They're actually doing pretty well. For a team under the radar, they might represent London well, you know. And like I said, we pick Everton and Wolves to go down, and I still stand by it. Crystal Palace beat Wolves. I just think Wolves and Everton just destined to go down. I mean, I know Wolves are go there. Maybe Sheffield go there, but it don't look good for some of them teams so far.
Yeah, Luton could be down. I mean, I think I picked Everton. I think I picked Everton, West Ham, and I picked another team. Wait, who's the next team I really picked? Can't even remember. But yeah, I know some pick Everton for go down, and trust me, and they lost Alex Iwobi, who was actually I think their best player last season. He's gone. He's gone. Yeah. So you know, look so good for Everton right now. Them look directionless, going right down.
So what do you think about the Champions League draw?
The Champions League draw? Well, my group not bad. I mean, I saw somebody make a joke that it's a group of Europa League teams. I'm not gonna lie, I laughed. Because when you really pre it, yeah. But you know what? It could be it could be worse, Moosey. It could be the group of death, Group F. And honestly, Group F look wicked. Yeah, look wicked, man. But the group we should comfortably get out of that group. But the ball is round, so but we should get out of the group.
Yeah, just to go over it, Arsenal drew with Sevilla, PSV, and Lens from France. So it does look like a Europa group. I mean, best of luck to you guys representing the English Premier League. And Man United, we were drawing a fairly decent group, you know. Bayern, and they were playing them first. That should be a very good game. Harry Kane get to play against a Premier League team after transferring this summer. Copenhagen and Galatasaray. But Sean, I want to ask you a question. And before we go over Group F, we just basically go over all of the Premier League teams who them groups. Why is it that Man City always draw some team and we don't even know them name? We never even heard of them before. It's like them always for a club that's not a big club. Because they're not a big club as most of the teams that has established in the pot one. Why is it Man City always draw some team but we can't even pronounce them name?
Hey, and you know the funny thing? I used to think that of at one point, Real Madrid used to get like those group.
Easy
I'm like,
group.
yeah, man,
Yes.
man, say, wait, I want to go on money and run, man. Because, not for real, but you're right. They always get drawn in some really easy group. While
All right. So,
Arsenal, Lord God.
well, let me say,
Hey,
let's in group prep, like we said about before, you could have been drawn in group prep, so you're grateful for the group you get drawn.
no,
At least you have
I am,
opportunity.
yeah, I am grateful. I'm not gonna lie. And you
Grateful,
guys
yes,
should,
most definitely.
comfortably, even if you don't finish first, you should comfortably finish
Good.
second in that group.
Please come to us runner up. I agree with
Yeah.
that. But Newcastle United, the Geordie fans, right? When it's on a big club, well, guess what? Big club playing a Champions League. I want to
Yeah.
get joined in a group of fire because we're burn up over there. PSG, Borussia Dortmund, and AC Milan. Good luck, Shana. If them win that game, I wouldn't be surprised because it's a rough. Whatever we
It's
do,
rough.
protect them home field and try to get something on the road. But it never easy. Shout out to Newcastle, like I said, on the one be amongst the big boys again. Well, let's see what you guys are made of.
So
All
true.
right.
Oh.
We basically touch on the Premier League. We go over the group. We're going to take this break to say, last week we had technical difficulties, but we're back again this week. We want to big up my co-host, Arteta Out, a.k.a. Shauna. You can follow Shauna on all social media at Shauna WTF. You know what I mean? Follow my page, Moosey443, and you can follow the official 443 Ball Talk page on all social media platforms. Like I said before, if you guys are enjoying the content that we're dropping over here, like, share, and subscribe. Share it with your friends because guess what?
Share.
Over Ball Talk, when it's in a small talk, we're going to
No
get
small
all of the
talk.
blunt, raw, unfiltered views. Whether them like it or not, we are give it to them just like that. Speaking of which, we're going a different segment now. It seems like something is haunting my club. I don't know what to say or what to call it, but it seems like some things just can't be right. I don't know if for the Glazers them just saw it, but it's just things just can't go right. And I keep up with all of the news in the sports, especially in the football world. If you have been following it on deadline day, Mason Greenwood was signed to Getafe in La Liga. But you can tell, say, the people over Spain no more because the Spain president of the Football Association hold the young lady, the baller, and
kiss her
in her mouth, and it's like them want to support him and back him.
Yeah.
So, I have nothing to say upon that part there. I just one of them thing there. Me don't know what to say, so me just never say nothing. But they have not coming for when Mason Greenwood playing in La Liga. Me don't care how much goal he want to score.
Yeah.
When though, me no support it, and me no want him on my club. Me no want the type of ball in my club. Football over baller. Because guess what? Ballers come and go. If you can't control it off the field, me no want you upon the field. Simple. Me no care
I have something to say,
I have to stand 10 toes deep on my views on that. I don't. Man United have enough controversy already as it is. We don't want the type of controversy to have a club. You know what I mean? Speaking of which, Mason Greenwood situation they gone out the way. Then today, you see Brazil national team drop Antony. No, it come like a cross. It's a full on my side. For another situation where he's in, they allegedly he has assaulted his ex-girlfriend, abused her, the whole 9 yards. And pending investigation, Brazil has kicked Antony off of the national team. So he was on his way to Brazil, right? To go play World Cup qualifiers, right? Or whatever qualifying game them up, Nations League, whatever it is. And them say, no, bossy, now I'm working on this reach a police station, you know. You can't most of you turn and go back to Manchester. So here's my thing I want to say to you, Shauna. But we're not going to touch, we're not going to, just like how we avoided Mason Greenwood, we just highlight it because it's out there right now. So we can just also drop a 2 cents. We never did it. We now play judge and jury. We don't know what the investigations what's going to be fun in the investigations. But I'm going to say this. It happened already. And Man United have to act fast.
Yeah.
I'm going to say my 2 cents. I'm not going to make you say yours. Man United have to drop him too.
Mm-hmm.
Man United has to drop him. The national team drop him. Man United have to drop him too. They can continue playing pending investigation, but he cannot be playing. He cannot play the next game, I would say, or the next couple games, because we don't know what the outcome will be of the investigation. So what you say?
Yeah, and he is maintaining innocence, you know. I saw his post on Instagram and he's like, he sounds like he's 100% sure, but please, we're not buying that. Let the law enforcement do their jobs. But
Yes.
I agree. I mean, he should be especially because he got charged, right? Or he hasn't gotten charged yet.
Has been charged. No charges.
Yeah, so you know,
they're gathering evidence and they're investigating.
yeah, especially if he gets charged, he should not be playing. But I think right now, even with my team, because you know the allegations with Thomas Partey and stuff, they didn't charge him. So the club, you know, they were reviewing everything, and they
Okay.
made the decision to keep playing him. Right now,
All right.
I have no idea what's going on with that case because it has pretty much gone silent. But I
Shauna,
want to yeah.
I don't mean to cut you off. Also, I want to highlight this point about that situation. You know, it happened a year before he signed for Man United.
A year. I did not know that.
Yes, it happened when he was at Ajax.
Oh.
So this is an ongoing thing. Because I heard, you remember a couple months ago, it came across social media.
Yeah,
and
it came out a couple months ago, yeah.
And it kind of like it got swept up across the rug. And then now it's back out. And now it's different. Manchester police are investigating for them investigation, and the Sao Paulo authorities are doing their investigation. So I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't there. I don't know what the outcome will be.
But there's one thing I want to say about the Mason Greenwood thing. Him being signed to a club, especially in Spain, is not surprising, you know, because you know, even besides everything, he's talent. So I'm not surprised that a team decided to go, you know, take a risk on him or whatnot. But what kind of bothers me is the fact that he's gone out on loan. Why is he gone out on loan?
Yeah, I am. Here's the thing, you know, I don't know the legal aspects of how these contracts work. I think maybe because of the length of his contract, once again, it comes back around to what I'm saying about the Glazers. If we were a properly ran club, Shauna, I don't care how much it costs to let him go. You have to cut the ties with him. But here's the thing. I have a bad feeling in my on my mind where I feel as though Man United are trying to let him go over there and let the fire cool, and they're going to try bring him back.
Yeah, trying him back. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Because I'm like,
what would be the reason for me just
he's
letting him go
gone on
alone?
loan. I mean,
And guess what?
contracts.
And on the loan, I believe Man United are still covering his wages.
Yeah, you see, that's very suspect.
Yes, it's a touchy subject.
Yeah.
You know, we try our best over here. We really want to go into the legal technicalities of all these things. But I just one of them things that where this stuff happens, you know. Speaking of which, like I said, once again, Shauna, good win, you know, good win. Good win.
Thank you.
This week, so just so you guys know, this weekend coming up, you know, it's international break. We're not gonna really say much. We're gonna take a break. We took a break this weekend because unforeseen circumstances. But this coming weekend, we're gonna take another break. Speaking of which, your boy will be in Florida this weekend, and I'm showing my jersey for my alumni Woolmans. We have an alumni game. We play against Campion, Tababina, Fort Lauderdale. You know, we are play against Campion. It's an annual thing where shout out to the Woolmans Wolmer's Alumni SSA Association, where they do this an annual thing every year where they have raffles and stuff, and they take donations, and all donations are shared amongst all Wolmer schools for various different departments. So I'm going to take part. I'm flying to Florida this weekend to take part in that game on Saturday
Nice.
night.
The best.
Look, if the they said the game will be live, so I'll show you the link. Drop the
Yeah,
link.
just
Maybe
post the link. Yeah.
I'm gonna post the link on social media. Maybe we can get a contract on Saudi Arabia. Them feel like I still have it.
What? Hey, so if you see when you get the contract, just remember your podcast co-partner here.
Most definitely. We still have to do a podcasting,
Yeah,
right?
man.
Yes,
Yeah.
so that's how we're going this
I.
weekend. So shout out to Aggie Quadra Geese in the Woolmar's 4 Euro Circle. That's how we're going this weekend. I'm actually, like I said, I'm grateful for the international break. Despite a whole bunch of controversy going on with my club, I tell people all the time, I say Arteta out, and not Arteta out. They Arteta out too. But I want him to stay till same can continue going to misery. Glazers out. And I'm going to continue to say it because there's no way at this juncture we should be relying on Harry Maguire
Exactly.
and Johnny Evans as a centre back in the English Premier. At Manchester United, big Manchester United. Come on,
Because
that should be subject to that.
Musi, look at it. Last season, Arsenal was just going on a cutting spree. So the Glazers, they have no excuse to have Harry Maguire. You can, I mean, yeah, you have to pay them off, but come on, man. If something is not working, just get rid of it.
You got
Because right now it look like so we're about to terminate Pepe, Nicolas Pepe can't. By the way, speaking of Nicolas Pepe, right? One last thing, right? I know you guys really love the Rasmus Oyland cameo and stuff. You know, I agree. He put in a good shift. He was playing back to goal. He was doing his thing. You know?
Play excellent.
Yeah, he was good, but then I'm watching, everybody being all there's nothing wrong with being with your new signing being optimistic, but I remember when Nicolas Pepe debuted versus Liverpool, right?
Excellent.
And he was excellent and he was tearing up the defense and all, even though we still end up lose, which that's why I drew the parallel, because we ended up losing that game to Liverpool, but Pepe put in a rotted shift, Musi, and then I'm like, shit. Even though there's nothing wrong with being excited for a new signing, still temper your expectations. I've learned that the hard way.
I get what you're saying, but I'm gonna tell you this: you see, when you listen to an interview and you see and you hear, you watch body language and you listen to the words that come out of these players' mouth, I feel as though he's somebody that's grounded. And like I said, I'm expecting him to do well. I don't expect him to have no spectacular first season. But if what he said so far, and based on his mindset and with the good coaching staff that we currently have, I believe like he'll be good, because guess what? You can tell he's a student of the game and wants to learn the game. And his idol is Cristiano Ronaldo. Not to talk about no goat this or goat that. If anybody that follow Cristiano Ronaldo career, they know that he started off, he does all the extra training on the ground to build up himself to be who he is today. Because it's not all talent alone cannot take it to the top. All the hard work behind it, and some of those characteristics, I believe, based on listening to his interview, I believe Harlan is watching. He watched all that Cristiano Ronaldo upbringing, and he wants to work on that side of his game. So, if you see, the thing is with a lot of these ballers, speaking of which, we're gonna touch base on that, and then we can roll out. I believe Harlan gonna come good because he is not that the typical English baller where you feel as though he seems grounded. He doesn't come off as somebody that's cocky or feel like him reach. You can tell say he wants to learn the game. Speaking of which, we're going to close it up on this note.
Yeah.
How could I forget this part?
Yeah, that's where I was going. That's where I was leading to, you know?
Jadon Sancho,
Yeah.
I have backed you. I have supported you. Not no fanboy, but as a little ball, I'm a rate general. You really
Mm-hmm.
disappoint me. Yesterday, after the game, during his presser, they asked Ten Hag about the absence of certain players. When Jadon Sancho's name was brought up, he said Jadon Sancho wasn't up to training levels, expectations of the coaching staff, right? And if you listen to the interview, it wasn't said in a malicious manner or tone. It was really casual. Jadon Sancho, he's not up to the level of the standard that we expect at Manchester United. Next question, right? Shortly after that presser, Jadon Sancho, instead of buckling down and getting on the training ground and working towards, all right, the coach, I'm not up to standard, I'm going to prove the coach wrong, right? The same coach that gave him 3 months off, a professional baller, you know, gave him a break in the middle of the season. I wish my job would have given me a break in the middle of the
Me
work here. So,
too.
Mr. Moves to take a couple months off and we'll pay you same. You didn't come nowhere near the job. Excuse me. When you're ready for come back, you can come back. Jadon Sancho took it upon himself. I don't know who influenced that. Whoever influenced him to do something like that, you guys are just as bad. He went online basically and posted a tweet in a nutshell, basically saying Ten Hag is actually lying. And then, social media, one thing with social media, once you do something, people will make sure say, they're going to put you out there and put you on blast.
Oh yeah.
Sancho, all of a sudden, all these videos surface, all these news
Yeah.
articles surface about Sancho's past,
Him attitude
lack
in
of training,
training.
taking
Yeah.
up for training. You've seen videos of him doing push-ups. He might do push-ups like a little kid and do push-up for the first time. So there's so many things that's going against Jadon Sancho. And that is my problem. Once again, I'm going to backtrack and I'm going to let you close it out. All of this started because of what? I say it all the time. These prima donnas, they get a little hype, and these clubs I'm talking like Man United, because we don't have no control over how we pay players. We don't have a proper wage structure. And that is the reason why we have problems offloading players like Harry Maguire today. Follow
Yeah.
me. Jadon Sancho is making what? £375,000 a week? Shauna, does Jadon Sancho look like a £375,000 a week baller?
Yeah. I mean, at Dortmund, when he was being hyped up as, the next best thing, I mean, you thought that would translate, his game would translate well, but nah,
But
he has not
Shauna,
looked.
even with that, he was still what? Still a young baller, right?
Yeah,
He never get them type of money. And the problem is
that
what
is
people don't
true.
understand is when you pay these kids this big money early, they're not gonna have the passion, they're not gonna have the drive anymore, because guess what? Win, lose, or draw, guess what? Ching, 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 ching. My money going in my
Yeah.
account anyway. So guess what? Why do I need to work hard?
No, but for
They have
real, somebody
5
like
in my account.
Sancho. Yeah,
Huh?
for real, because somebody like Sancho, even though, he had like monster stats at Dortmund, 375,000 a week is ridiculous.
Oh my
It's
God.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Shauna, from him come a Man United, without him win him single-handedly win with 2 games.
Mm-mm.
And this is what him a go upon what? Year 3. And you have to remember, this is not a Ten Hag signing. Ten Hag
Yeah.
actually took this kid under his wing, willing to work with him. And this is the thank you. You know the
Mm-hmm.
Jamaican saying, you're sorry for Marga dog, them turn you on
And
and
then
bite
turn
you.
around
This,
bite you. Yeah. But honestly, Jadon, remember you have Jadon. I thought a couple years ago Jadon would be up, in debates with like Mbappe and them, because he was that good with Dortmund. But now we
feeling
know
was that
that,
high.
yeah, he was up
Shauna,
there.
he was on the teams with Foden. Foden was a little bench man theme.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, because him lazy and him don't want to work and them get money too fast, they don't
Yeah.
have the hunger no more.
Yeah.
So I do have a problem with players like that. And that's the reason why I don't. And it's the same thing goes for Rashford. Rashford, him too hot and cold. But guess what? Rashford
Yeah.
I get big money too. Them pay the little youth too much money.
Yeah. But for real, man, because honestly, Sancho does not make an impact. He might score a pretty goal. He might
But he
score a
does
pretty goal.
goals though. Give me
Yeah.
a Garnacho. Give me Garnacho over
No,
him.
trust me, I will take Garnacho any day
I know
over Sancho.
I play with
Any
some
day.
form of fight.
Even though
But
Garnacho
anyway,
what 18, 19, yeah, give
18.
me Garnacho.
Passion. Keep playing with a lot of passion. You can't buy that. It's either you have it or you don't.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we're not gonna wait up. We're not gonna keep it no much longer. It was an interesting weekend once again. Just to recap, shout out to Arsenal coming out victorious 3-1 against Man United.
3-1.
It wasn't that type of game.
You better block my on Twitter, you know, cause I don't know for a couple months, you know, cause me not forget last season, you know. Hey, you think I forget all them season there? Basketball, football, me not forget it in the boss. I pay back now, you know.
Speaking of which, NFL starts this weekend. Go Ravens. We say go Jets.
Go Jets. Yeah, man, on Monday night we'll play too, you know. Monday night.
Okay, we play on Sunday 1 o'clock against the Texans.
Yeah.
But yes, once again, it's been a good session, always a joy recording with my co-host Shauna. Big up your damn self. You know the business already.
3-1. Yeah.
3-1. All right, to get 3-1. All right, we give you 3-1 last. And funny enough, that was my prediction, right?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for the jinx. Thank you for the jinx. Hey, big up, by the way, big up Declan Rice. You were fantastic, even though Twitter going like say, you know, the weird one them going like say I never put in a good shift, but you did. Big up yourself.
I thought Declan Rice played well, but when we see them do the comparison with Bellingham, nah, y'all need to stop that.
Nah,
he has been that.
You see, they're weird. Why are they doing comparisons? Like Bellingham right now? No, come on. And they're not even. Yeah.
Shout out to the Man United fans them. Big up on yourself. Don't get too down about this result, Our circumstances beyond our control, we fell short, but there's room for improvement, it could have been worse. And our hands are currently tied. And we signed Amrabat. Shout out before we go. Yes, we have Amrabat, so we have a little bit more steel in our midfield. I look forward to seeing him play the Moroccan, the big number Moroccan in the midfield with Casemiro. So I look forward to that. Like I said, I don't make the rules, but I'm going to tell you what the rules are. Premier League not start till after the first international break. So watch out the Man United come after the international break.
Him just make up that yesterday, people. Him just make up that yesterday. We never hear Musi say that before. Him just make up that team lose too.
Do not make the rules. I don't make the rules. You know what's interesting before we exit? After the game yesterday, everybody was mentioning me. Oh, we need your reviews. Are you going to record? We want to know what you think about the game. Why do I care about what you think so much? Whatever I want to think about the game, I want to think about the game. It was a fair game. The two teams went at it. It was nothing spectacular. At the end of the day, the better team won.
Yeah, shout out to all of the team them when I lose no match yet. Shout out to all the undefeated Premier League teams. If you have less than 7 points, don't talk to me.
All right. On that note, once again, thanks for tuning in. Shout out to all of the viewers and all of our fans. Because everything up there now we have fans. Yes, we're still trying to work on that opportunity for you to come across being easy, because we know you and Shana want to go at it.
I am ready.
Shout out to the people that's always giving us feedback. Feedback helps, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chaos, big up yourself. Even though you trolled me all yesterday, big up yourself, Chaos. You really would. Give it. Them say we lose yesterday, you run out of the timeline like a wounded dog.
Gilly disappeared. Gilly still drive about 5, 6, 7 hours and Jamaica not so big.
I must say from Negril to Negril in my drive go. Come, somebody I drive from I can't tune in. And big shout out to Shawana. I need you on here soon. Because guess what? You know, say, as an Arsenal fan, may ever thump it out. But big up yourself. Once again, you know what to do. 443 Ball Talk on our social media platform. And if you want the rest of my views, you can follow me on other social, my personal page at Moosey443. And also my co-host, Shauna, at What the F. I'm gonna be putting them at the follow stuff on the page, so you can follow all pages. Once again, like me say, you know the badness go already now. We're on 443 Ball Talk, we're not in a small talk.
No
And guess
small
what?
talk.
On that
Arteta
note,
out.
Arteta out, Glazers out, and Moosey and
No,
Shauna out.
Glazer's in. Glazer's in.
Absolutely not. Big up on yourself. On that note,
Alright, big
we're
up,
gonna
big
tune
up.
out. Blessings.